人は一切れのパンのために他人を殺す。自分の幸せを至上の優先として戦うんだ。
もう僕らだけの戦いじゃないんだ。
私はもう誰にも死んでほしくないだけよ。殺したければ殺しなさい。命を絶てても思想までは奪いやしない。
死にたい奴はかかってこい。
望むところ我が剣を受けてみよ。
飛行ならどうする。どうするというのだ。
彼らは力で支配されることを望んだのだ。
戦う意志のない奴なんか死人と同じじゃねえか。
仲間のためにもこのまま終わるわけにはいかない。
こうしなければオールスターに明日はない。
僕は理想のためにその手を汚すことができるのか。
はい、皆さんこんにちは。TGS タクティクスオガリボン TGS スペシャル生放送をこの時間はお送りいたします。私は本日の MC を務めさせていただきます。タクティクスオガリボンのプロデューサー加藤です。よろしくお願いいたします。はい、ありがとうございます。それでまずは、皆様、お待ちかねのですね、本日のゲストの方々をご紹介していければと思います。
ゴリアテの英雄なんて呼ばれてますが、それが僕らの力だけじゃないことはよく分かっています。真の平和のため、争いのない世界を築くために僕らは戦っている。
皆さんこんにちは。タクティクスオガリボンで主人公デニムの声を新たに担当させていただいております前野智明です。よろしくお願いします。
はい、では続きましてこちらです。
助ければいい金になりそうだな。どうだランスロット、やらねえか。
俺の名はカノープス。死にたい奴はかかってこい。
皆さんこんにちは。
Hello
タクティ
everyone.
クスオガリボンで
I
カ
am
ノプス役やらせていただいております中
Yuichi
村一です。
I
よろし
play
くお
the
願い
role
します。
of Canopus in this title. Hello everyone again.
ここで
Well, this was
なんで今日中村さんいらっしゃるのかと。
why are you here? Maybe you might think about it. Here's a question. But I'm here. In the beginning, you announced. In the beginning, even though we actually, didn't say that, but there are so many fans, right? And when I saw the PV in the beginning, there were so many popular dialogues there for the subscription there. So maybe you would understand who would be there, right? That's something I saw in the Twitter too. So this is the first announcement. Here is Nakamura, Yuichi Nakamura.
ありがとうございます。そして、さらにこちらの方をご紹介いたします。タクティクスオガリボン、コンポーザーの崎本仁さんです。
The composer of the Tactics Hitoshi Sakimoto. Hello everyone. I'm the composer of this title, Hitoshi Sakimoto.
はい、以上の豪華な方々ととも
So we
に
now
お
have
送り
the
させていただき
great
ます。
guest
ま
for
た、
today.
この放送は感染症対策を行い、
And
ソーシャルディス
to
タンスを
protect
保
the
ち、放送してまいりま
infection,
す。
we just
で
keep
また、
the social
今回
distance.
の、
And then
公開
for
放送
this
では特別に
opportunity,
会場の皆様との間に仕切りなしで
do not
ステー
have
ジを
the
行
barrier
ってまい
between
ります。
ourselves and
皆
the
様が
audience
大きな
here
声を
in
出
this
してしまう
room.
とマイクに入
So
って
if you
放送に声が
speak
乗っ
in
て
a
しまうこ
loud
とがありま
voice,
すので、
sometimes
何
the
卒ご協力をよろしくお願い
microphone
いたし
here
ます。
will capture your voice. So please work with us.
は
Please
い、さ
cooperate
て、
with us.
早
Thank
速
you
です
very
が、
much in the
今日
beginning.
の放
So
送ですね。タクティクスオーガを知らない、聞いたことはあるなと思いつつ、遊ん
maybe
だ
some
ことはない
viewers
方
have
もた
not
くさん見てい
played
ただいてい
this
るかと思い
title
ま
but
すの
heard
で、
about it.
タクティクスオーガとは、ど
So
ういうゲ
I
ーム
would
なの
like
かと
to
いう基本
explain
の
the
ところからですね、
basic of
まずは
tactics
ご紹介していければと思います。
So please
はい、
take
では
a look
こちら
at
のスライドを
this.
ご覧ください。はい、タクティクスオーガについてですね、
Tactics
こういう歴史で作っていますというところなんですけども、まずはですね、1993
In the
年に
beginning,
スーパーファミコン用ゲームとして
2023,
伝説のオ
we
ーガバ
released
トルというですね、ゲームが発売されました。
Ogre Battle
当時の日本国内では馴染みのないリアルタイムストラテジータイプのゲームでありなが
and
ら、
that was
その
for
自
the
由度と完成度の高さ
SNES, and that
を
was the
多くのユーザ
real-time
ーから称
strategy
賛され
type
ました。
game, which
特
was
にグ
unfamiliar
ラフィ
in
ックや
Japan
演
at
出
that
面、やり
moment.
込み、そうしたくな
However,
る
it
よう
was
なですね、
prized
ゲー
by
ムシ
many
ステムの高い
users
評
for
価で
its high degree of freedom and completeness.
そして
And this
1995
game
年
was
スー
quite
パー
a
ファミコン
hit,
用タ
and
クティ
people
カル
really wanted to
RPG と
play
し
that
て
again
タクティ
again.
クスオー
And
ガー
in
を発売。
1995,
伝説の
we
ガバトルとは
launched the
異なるア
Tactics
プローチで
Ogre.
クォータービューによ
That
る
was a
高低
little
差のあ
bit
るフィール
different
ドでの
from
バ
the
トル。
previous one
独自
because
性
we
のある
had the
緻密
height
な
and
ピクセルア
also
ー
we
ト、
had
マル
the
チストー
pixel
リー
art
マルチエン
and
ディングで
profound
進行する重
ensemble
厚な群
drama
像
that
劇など、
progresses
このジャン
through
ルとして
multiple
は異例のヒッ
storylines
トを
and
飛ばし、
multiple
今なおユー
endings.
ザーから高い
And
支持を
still,
得
this
てい
game
ます。
was quite
そして
familiar
2010
among
年
the
ですね、今
gamers.
度スーパーファミコン版のオリジナルスタッフを確保しまして、
With the
大幅
original
なシナリオ
staff
開
of the
発、
Super
多彩なキャラクター
NES
育成、
version as
新シ
core
ステムや
members,
豊富な
the
やり
game
込み要
has
素を
been
盛り込む再
reworked
構
to
築を図った
incorporate a
タク
major
ティクスオー
addition
ガ
to the
運命を
scenario,
プレイ
a
ステー
variety of
ション
character
ポータブルで
development,
発売
new
して好
systems,
評を
and
博
many
しま
of
した。
challenging elements.
でちなみに、
And that was
前野
the
さん、
Ogre,
中村
the
さん
Wheel
は
of
タクティクスオー
Fate.
ガというゲーム
So,
をプレイ
by
さ
the
れた
way,
ことはあります
Maino-san,
でしょうか？
Nakamura-san, have you ever played this game? Oh yes, oh yes, as he said. Yeah, we are now playing to try to save hobbling, right? That was very
スーパーファミ
tough.
コン版ではもう最強キャラとして
That was something
はい
that
もう
was
ハブリ
toughest
先
one
生
in
として
the
可能性やっぱ強
CNS.
かったですね。
Canopus was very
強かったです
strong,
ね。あ、なんか
wasn't it?
先の話になるかもしれないですけ
Oh
ど、
yes.
今回弓って強いんですか？
そういう
What about the archer?
そうですね
Archer
カム
is
ップは
strong?
確かにオリジナルではもう大活躍で、はい
Yes, that was something we need to think about. The
ちょっ
archer
となんか一回
is very strong.
PSP 版だと少し弱く
Yeah,
なってる
according to PSP, that was a little bit
で
weaker,
今回
right?
も
But
弓は
what
調整は
about
してるんですけ
now?
ど、ちゃんと
We
クラスごとにですね、
adjusted
クラスごとか
the
能力によって
strengths,
弓
but
を
the
生かせたりとか、
and
生
the
かせないシチュエーションもあるんですけど、そういった時は
For
ま
the
た工夫をして別の組み合わせ
stage,
で勝
we
負を
are
した
able
り
to
と
use
か、
the
はい、
archer, but
いろんな
not
楽しみ
for
が、
all
は
of
い、
them,
はい
so you have to adjust. Yeah, Canopus is very strong for sure.
そうです
ね、救われる場面ってたくさん
Yeah,
ある。
you will be saved by Canopus in many cases or in many stages. Understood? Good.
主人公難しいですよね。
Yeah, main character is very difficult because if you actually die, the game is over. So that's very scary, right? Understood. Understood.
はい、ありがとうございます。
Thank you for the
で
comments.
あれですよね、崎本さんは、まあ、伝説のバトルから、まあ、タクティクスオーガ運命の輪でも、
You
はい、全
actually
ての音楽の方に
touched
携わ
on
って
the
い
all the
ただいてきて
composer, all
ま
the
すよね。
all the music from the Ogre battle and the Tactics Ogre and the Wheel of Fate, right? Yes, I have been working for many years, over 20 years, but yeah, this title is loved by everyone for many years, which is a very good one
そ
for
れこ
me.
そタクティクスオーガの時に当時アルバイトで開発に
I actually was working for the debug, procedure for the Tactics Ogre. I was just the part-time worker at that moment, and now I'm here. What's a promotion? Long time.
本当ね、
Yeah, actually, I did my
昨日
best.
のことのようになんかね、いろいろと
But
やっ
you
ぱ
know,
当時
I
のことと
just
か思い出されるぐらい、
remembered what I
印象は本当に
did
残ってま
as
す
the
ね。
debugger at that moment.
ありがとうございます。はい。でそしてですね、じゃあ次のスライドお願いいたし
So
ま
let's
す。
go to the next one.
でそしてですね、今年いよいよそのタクティクスオーガがさらなる進化を遂
So
げまして、
let's go to
新
the
生したタクティ
information
クスオーガリボ
here.
ーンが
So we will have the
2022年11
Tactics
月
Ogre
11日に
Reborn
発売
on
されます。
11th in November
で注目いただきたいリ
2022.
ボンポイント
So
は、じゃあ
here's the
3点にな
point
り
for
ま
the
す。
Reborn.
ま
I
ず
do
1
have
点
the
目が
3
ですね、
points.
映
First,
像表現力の向上、
improve
グラフ
the
ィック
visual
の高解
expression.
像とかはもちろん
Of
操
course,
作感
the
にストレスを
resolution
感
is
じず、
improved
もっ
and
と楽しん
also
でプレイしていただけ
you
るよ
don't
う
have
利便
to
性を
feel
図って
stressed and
UI
we
を一
actually
新しました
increase the
そして2点目がです
usability
ね、
and
サウンド表現
change
力
the
の向上とな
UI.
ります。
And the second
カ
one
ット
is
シーン
the
ね、これは
improvement
会
of
話のあ
sound
るイベントシーンの
expression.
ことですね。
Cutscenes
こちら
would
は
be a
前野
dialogues
さん、
for the
中村さんはじめ
event.
多くの
Well, Maino-san,
声優の方
Nakamura-san,
々に
and
演じてい
many
ただきまし
voice
て、はい、臨
actors
場感たっ
played
ぷりの
great
フルボイスでお楽しみいた
expression
だける
there,
よう
and
に
you
なって
can
おりま
enjoy
す。
the full voice
SE
from
もこの
characters.
作用に再構築しています。
And we
そして
actually reached structures
BGM
for
は
this
崎
Reborn.
本さんにですね、すべて
And then
生演奏で
BGM,
再
by
レ
the
コー
way,
ディングをしていただきま
Sakimoto-san, we
した。はい、
recorded
新
all
曲
the
もね、あり
music
ま
with
すか
the
らね。
live
はい、
music,
その
and
話
there
はまた、
are the
はい、
new
後ほど
music too.
伺
So I
い
really
できれ
want
ば
to
と思
listen
いま
about
す。
it later.
はい、そして3点目、
The
こちらバト
third
ルデザインをリメイ
point,
ク。スーパー
remaking
ファ
the
ミ
battle
コン版、
design.
とあと
We
はタクティクスオーガ運命のは
have
ですね、こち
adapted
ら
the
で好評
points
いただい
users
た点は
liked
採
in
用いたし
Tactics
まして、さ
Ogre,
らに
the
新
Wheel
要素を
of
多
Fate,
く取り入
and
れております。
incorporated many new
以上、簡
elements.
単に3つのポイントを
So
かい
those
つま
are
んで説
the
明させて
3
いただき
points
ま
that
し
I
たが、
really want to
物語
mention classroom here, but to enjoy the story, we improved many things. So let's go into details a little bit, and we want to share some new information to you. And please enjoy the discussion and talk with my guest for today.
はい、ではですね、まずは
Alright,
世界観ですね。
so
タクティクスがリボーン
let's go
の
to the,
世界観とストーリーについて、はい、ご紹介をいたします。
world view and the
スライドお
story
願いし
of
ます。
the Reborn. Let's go to the
はい、
slide.
こちらですね。
Yes.
まあゲームの世界となるワールドマップなんで
This
す
is
け
the
れど
world
も、
map
ゲームの舞台とな
of
る
this
のは
title.
バレリアという
This
島になり
game
ます。
takes place
海
on the
洋
island
貿易
called
の中継
Varelia.
として古くか
It
ら
has
栄えてい
long
ますが、
flourished as a
常に
transit
その波
point
形を
for
巡
the
って
maritime
民族
trade,
間の紛
but
争
there
が絶えない
have
場所
always
でもあり
been
ました。
disputes between
そん
peoples
な
over
バレリ
its
ア島もですね、
supremacy.
一度は
And
ド
the
ルガルアという
island
です
of
ね、
Varelia
男によっ
was
て
once
全土が統治され
unified
こ
by
の
a
ドルガル
man named
王は
Dolga
王になります。
Doluwaga.
でそんな
And
で
the
すね、
emergence
天
of
然
the
の王の
wise
出現によ
king
って
finally
ようや
brought
く
about
安
the
定した
stable
統治は
rule,
始まるんですが、
but
彼にはちょっと後
he
継者が
had
いませんで
no
した。
successor,
そして、
unfortunately.
このドルガル王の死
After
は
the
ですね、
death
再
of
び
the
国家は分
king,
裂し、
the
民
nation
族
was
間
once
の
again
争いが
divided
始ま
and
り
the
ます。
ethnic
対
conflicts
立している
began.
のは三民族。
Three
物語
ethnic
は少
groups
数
were
派の
battling
ウォル
each
スタ
other.
人が
The
他
story
の民
begins
族に追い
with
詰
the
められてい
wolf
る状態
sons,
か
a
ら始ま
minority
ります。
group, being
でそれ
driven
ではで
into
す
the
ね、
corner
人
by
物
the
紹
other
介図を
ethnic
交え
groups.
ながら
So now I
も
would
う
like
少し
to go
深
a
掘りしてい
little
きたいと思います。
deeper
は
into
い、
the
じゃあ
story
次の
with the
スライドお願い
character
します。
correlations. Next slide,
はい、
please.
こちらはですね、
Yes.
島のバレリア島の
Here is
発展
the
を手に入れてい
correlation
る人々
chart
の
that shows the
図があ
struggle
ります。
for the supremacy in the
でまず
island
です
of
ね、ガ
Varelia.
ルガスタン王国ですね。
The
こ
kingdom
ちら
of
ガルバ
Gargastan,
ス水系というで
with
すね、
the
ものが
majority of the
そこの元で
population
ですね、
and the
少数民族
cardinal
のウォルスタ人を
Barbados,
ですね、
and
弾
they
圧しているという
oppressed
状
the
況になってい
minority
ま
group
す。
Worcester.
はい。でウォルスタ人
The
は
Wolfstans,
農営公
led
爵
by
が
the
指導を
Marquis
務め
de
ています
Loge,
が、現在
have
は
been
国として形成されていない
relegated
自治区法や
to the
弾圧
Ottoman
を受けて
region,
いる状
which
態
is
となっ
not
ています。
currently a country but are
そ
under
して、
oppression
貴族
too.
階級
And
で
the
構成されている
background
バ
of the
レリア
nation
と
is
です
made
ね。
up of the
こちらは
aristocratic
摂
class.
政ブランタが
And the
北大
regent
国
Branca is
ローマ
growing
の
in
軍的
power
支援を
with
受
the
け
military
勢力
support
を
of the
伸ばして
Roman
いる
power
と
and
いう
the
状
Church
況
of
に
the
なってお
Rhodes.
ります。はい。じゃあちょっとこのまま一気に行きましょうかね。そして、
Alright, so continue
次の
right
スライドは
on
主
to
人
the
公の
next
周り
slide,
がどうなっているかといういよいよ
which
ここからですね。
explains the main characters and how they are intertwined with each other, and we'll have Denim as well as Canopus appear here. First of all, this is the main character, Denim, a young Wallster man, voiced by Maino-san, and he's a comrade to the Wallster resistance, which engages in guerrilla activities against the Bakram and Galgastani army together with his sister Katsua and childhood friend Vice. As the story unfolds, he meets other characters including the Holy Knight Lancelot and Canopus, voiced by Nakamura-san in his journey. Now, let's take a look now at an event scene, cutscene between Denim and Canopus in Japanese. Here's the video.
なんだまた喧嘩か。それよりこれを見ろよ。また賞金が上がっているぜ。3万ゴートだ。公爵も焦ってるな。
ひどすぎるわ。これじゃ私たちが犯罪者みたいじゃない。
戦争に正義も悪もない。皆が犯罪者とも言えるし、犠牲者とも言える。ある意味、勝者が正義であり敗者が悪とも言えよう。それが世の中ってもんだ。
彼らを守ることのできなかった僕は、負けてしまった僕は犯罪者か。
勝つしかないってことさ。
いいですね。かっこいいですね。
Wow, that was cool, wasn't it?
ちなみに実際の収録の時とかは
At the time of recording, can you tell us what it was like?
どんな進行というか実際ちょっとねコロナの状況もあったりして
Because it was in the middle of COVID, I understand you weren't able to gather all the actors together. Yes,
中村さんとお話しさせていただいたように、タクティクスオーガンプレイさせていただいていたんで、
I have played Tactics Ogre previously, like Nakamura-san was saying, and I was reminiscing back on the lines and the scenes that I remember as I was recording. For me, the main characters, they recorded first, but listening to the voices, I learned that Maino-san is voicing Denim. Set aside my character, the main character Denim, depending on the route that he takes, the philosophy that he adopts becomes different, and the story branches out. So Canopus, he's not really involved in the politics of this world. Therefore, he's not really so engaged in that side of the story. But I was thinking through the scenario and wondering whether or not you would be confused over what sort of philosophy you take, right? Because we would take several routes, progress, and then come back with a particular philosophy, and then come across common philosophies as well across the scenarios. And I'm sure it was a little bit difficult for you to follow the direction. Every time we went through a recording, I would ask for the sessions from the previous recording, and that was really fun to listen to. And I was asked whether or not I wanted to listen to Sugiyama-san's voicing of the character Vice. And the line that I heard was, "Don't stop, don't kill me." And that was the first time I heard Sugiyama-san's voice, his voice with a lot of presence and character, where he was shouting out in the voice of Vice. At the time recording, because we were in the middle of COVID, we weren't able to really come to the scene of the recording, but Maino-san as well as Rin-san voicing Kachua, I was involved in a Zoom session, and also the game designing and the scripting, Matsuno-san, who is also the director, he was there at the scene as well, and I took a look at his acting directions, and everybody was just so wonderful. Exceeding the scenario and the script, I think you were really engaged and immersed in playing out the characters, and perhaps you were there as well in really hearing the voices. I think the director too, he was really moved by your acting. And for me too, listening to the cutscenes, I thought I knew the story, but because of your voices, it breathes in a totally different new life and new emotions, and I was kind of testing it out in the gameplay, and I felt my emotions being moved. Kaja, she's a character, isn't she? Has anybody in the audience played her in the past? She's a key character, isn't she? And Rin is voicing Kachua. You may know the character. She has an edge. She has a character. And she has a little bit of a dark side, maybe, which is representative of the modern times almost. But I did the Super Nintendo version without any audio, and it was just through the text that I imagined Kachua's character, but with the full voice recording, with her voice, I'm really looking forward to how the character will be fully expressed. Maybe we will get to hear the line saying something like, "Sis." And that was something that I enjoyed saying as well. Alright, so we introduced the scene with Canopus when we introduced you, Nakamura-san, and it talked about a hideaway where he's meeting with Denim and the characters, but the original character illustration artist, Akihiko Yoshida, he created an all-new illustration for us, and this is the first time we're disclosing this to the public. This is cool, isn't it? Canopus, Kachua, Denim, and Vice. You have Lancelot, the Starseer, Warren. All of these characters coming together to talk about what's happening on the Isles of Valeria. This is a beautiful illustration. This is when the story was still in sort of like a state of calm and peace, and then trouble will ensue from here. Please look forward to more details about this illustration and the details around that. Okay, so from here on, we're going to talk about the Battle Design Remake, developed to provide more comfort and ease as a modern-day game. Let's take a look at the slide. First of all, we'll talk about the units. In this game, individual characters are called units. There are 2 points here. The first, the system used in Tactics Ogre, Wheel of Fortune, has been changed from a mechanism that manages battle levels by class to one that manages levels by unit. So it's a unit-by-unit system, and you can customize at your own will. It'll be much more enjoyable. So including Kachua or any other favorite characters, you can freely level them up. And the second point is the consumable items, the skills, and the magic spells. Maximum up to 4, you can include them in the unit composition. And as a simple way of experiencing the fun of strategizing about how each unit train themselves in this class, how to combine armor, skills, and magic, and what kind of unit compositions to use in battle, there's also a convenient function that selects recommended equipment for you. So even beginners can enjoy playing the game with ease. Don't worry if you're a beginner. One more thing I wanted to add here was on the left-hand side of the screen, the armor as well as the protective gear and the weapons. Maximum up to 7 you can equip yourself with these items. And for the armor as well as the magic spells, the time of Tactics Ogre Wheel of Fortune, there was a level limitation. For example, if you wanted to equip yourself with a sword, you needed to go up to a level something as a knight. But for this game, the sooner the armor or the weapon you receive, you can immediately equip them and start using them in battle. Now, next is on the formation of the attack team, the preliminary step before entering the battle. There are 2 points I'd like to mention. The first is the element of bonus objectives. In addition to the terms of victory, you can obtain rare and valuable items as a bonus by performing designated actions. This is great, isn't it? Initially, the objective of this game is to defeat the opponent or the enemy, but there are other bonus objectives, and we do recommend you to go through these objectives, although this is totally up to you. But there are some great things that could happen if you achieve these bonus objectives. Please look forward to that as well. And the second highlight is the reconnaissance feature. By selecting the recon command, the screen switches to the battlefield, and you can check the formation of your opponent you are about to battle.
I do have the video.
これまではバトルが始まってから敵の編成を実際に確認して状況によってはこの編成をちょっと相性が悪いなみたいなことがありましたんですけど今回はそれを最初からアタックチーム編成の時点で確認ができてこうやって敵がどの位置にいて何を装備してどういうクラスか確認できます。でこれであとはまたアタックチーム編成画面に戻って次にまたアタックチーム編成画面でクラスをチェンジしたりとか装備内容を変えるといったこともできるのでそれで合わせて万全な状況で臨んでいただければと。今回はちょっといろいろと便利な機能を入れてます。
I really love it. Actually, I cried so many times because I didn't know there were monsters, and that didn't match with my attribution or the equipment. Yes, I think this is a title that I have been playing for many years in my business and in my private. I get used to play, but if I get into a battle, sometimes I do have the mismatched, the formulation or the equipment, but that cannot be happened under this new system. Alright, so go to the battle.
はい、こちらも2点ございまして、
There are 2 points.
1点目はですね、倍速モードの実装になります。ユニットのですね、移動速度から魔法アートのすべてのアニメーションが高速になっています。比較動画がありますので、こちらをご覧ください。
Very fast. The left one is the normal speed and the right one is the double speed. The flow is identical, but the right one will be finished earlier. Well, sometimes tactical RPG is a little bit slow when you play, but you can switch the mood by pushing just the one button. I actually use the double speed mood all the time if I play. And the UI has been changed because you do have the icon as the list to find out what you can do, so that you are able to see, like, okay, I cannot use this magic because of the shortage of the MP, so that you are able to capture what you can do and what you do with the list. And you can also use the mouse too, so like using the PC and then just using the icon. That's very good for the clicking by your mouse. So in a way you can choose. Understood. And the second point, and a buff card. Buff card? Yes. During the battle, buff cards, unit enhancement element will appear on the field. When the unit picks up the buff card, you get the buff card benefit. Please take a look at that. Yes, you can increase the encounter ratio, or you can increase your attack. And that is something you are able to utilize those buff cards to respond to the dynamic scenes or dynamic battles. Understood. So if you pick up, you will be enhanced. Yes. 4 buff cards should be stacked. In other words, if you get that, that would be a double or triple if you get the same buff card. But the enemy picks up, that's not the good one for you. Yeah, I mean, is it just for this battle? Good question. Absolutely, this card will be used for just this battle, not carrying over to the next battle. Understood. That's very good element that you can think about the strategy, right? Thank you very much for pointing out. And when you play the game, sometimes the beginner feels like, oh, very difficult, it's very difficult. But in this game, we do have the chariot. It's like undo function. You are able to undo and retry the command or the turn, so that you are able to adjust, or you are able to change how to attack the enemy, for example. So please enjoy. That was something we had the Wheel of Fate too. Yes.
はい、ではですね、最後にですね、ご紹介するのは、
Okay,
アイテム関連とショップ
I
にな
want
り
to
ます。
share something about the items and the
こちらですね
stories.
動画
We have the video
ので
too,
ご覧く
so
ださい。
please take a look at it.
はい、1点目はですね、
Yeah,
バト
first
ルで
thing
使用
is
した
like
HP 回復などの消耗品アイテムは
HP
自軍にストックがあるとバトル終了後にそ
is
のア
the
イテムを使用
consumable,
した
but
部
you
分
are
に
able
対して
to
自動で補
restock
充さ
if
れ
you
ます。
used that item during the
アイテ
battle
ム補充します。
automatically. Yes, it says like your items are restocked.
前のバトルで使った消耗品
Oh,
を使
that's
って
very good
その消
function.
耗品補充しないま
Well,
ま
because sometimes you forget to fill the items before you go to the battle, but that is not happening under this system. And look at the items here or the equipment here. Well, this is a system to upgrade your equipment, but this is the change from the wheel of weight. But in this game, the 100% successfully you are able to upgrade. You don't have to waste any items to upgrade your equipment.
いくつも複数もまとめて合成もでき
And
ま
then
すの
also
で
you are able to
それで
upgrade with
自
the
分の動きをどん
multiple
どん楽
items.
に
So
早
that's
く
very
強化
easier
してい
for
く
you
こと
to
が
upgrade at the same time. Yes.
リセットしますもんね。
But I will reset if I actually failed, right? Yeah, I will do until I get the success. Yeah, that actually waste of the time, so I just put the 100% of the success for the upgrading the equipment for users. Understood.
ございます。
Thank you.
Okay,
so much for the introduction of the game. So, Mr. Sakimoto, and all of you, all of the Sakimoto-san's fans, thank you very much for your patience. From here, we want to talk about the music. Okay, so let's start with the relationship with Mr. Sakimoto and myself. Yeah, I talked with Kato-san, by the way. In my memory, he was just the good guy to enjoy drinking with the other colleagues. That was my memory. Because I didn't know who you were at that moment. You were like, you're just the guy, attending the reception or the party with their colleagues to enjoy drinking there. That was my memory. Well, he was like just a friend of mine. And then I realized that, oh, he was in my team. That's right, after Tactics Ogre and then Final Fantasy Tactics and also Final Fantasy 12, those are the titles that I worked with you because I was the project manager. Because without having his music, I couldn't proceed. So I waited for his music in front of his house. Oh, he actually was saying the same to you. But that was true. Yeah, we worked so many years. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Final Fantasy 12 was the first title that I worked with him closely. So that was the moment that I realized his personality. And he was like, I actually will go to your place to pick up your music. And actually, he came to my place in a reality. I was like, oh my goodness, he stayed there to wait for me. It's very painful for the composer. That's right. Because he could wait and he actually enjoyed his time in my house, to read the comic or just the yeah, he actually had the patience to wait for the music. Thank you. And for this time, when I talked about the Reborn, when did I talk to you? Many years ago? Yeah, that was a good opportunity for me. Because, I recorded all live music for the Final Fantasy 12. I mean, Zodiac Age. Yes. That was the very, well accepted by users. So I really wanted to do that again. And as you talked about the Katsura, right? I really want to make a comment. Katsura is like that, as you know, but I am maybe okay if she is one of the colleagues for me. But the sister, very tough, to be honest with you. But no, Katsura thinks about his brother too. She thinks about her family all the time. Yes. When I developed my music as a composer, and the scenario was very shocking to me. That was very dramatic. And after the launch, people talk about it very, aggressive and dramatic, side of their culture. But I really wanted to express her different aspects with the music. That's something I tried to do for this time. Yeah, at the cutscene, you will see the different impression there. So that's something I want to see here.
And you also compose some new music, right? Yes, and we're going to introduce one of that to you right now. This music sounds a little lively, and the title of this is Victory. The scene where we're using this music is the staff credit section, which comes at the very beginning. People who were developed being the game as well as all of the staff involved, and this is the music that's going to play at that section. And this is just an expression of our thanks to everybody who was involved. And to represent that, we've titled this Victory. And Sakimoto-san, you're the one who titled this music, right? No, actually, I haven't titled any of the music. Oh, I see. I thought it was Kato-san. You titled all the music. If it's not you, then who is it? Somebody from the development team, I guess. And the staff roll music is what you're listening to, which you see at the very beginning of the game. And initially, I had a darker tone that I imagined for the music, and then the people told me that I have no respect for the staff. Oh, I see. And that's the reason why I changed the tone. And I was composing long music, and this was supposed to be the latter half of that music. And it was supposed to express sort of like the brighter, the more enjoyable section of that music. But all in all, I think it turned out pretty good. Yes. It's really enjoyable, pleasant to the ears. I understand that you have other music that you've composed, so look forward to playing the game. And how was the recording of the music? I heard that the music was recorded overseas, but because of COVID, you weren't able to really be at the scene, right? Yes, I'm more of a producer for this game, working behind the scenes. And for FF12, I had a secret formula that we cracked, and we tried to reproduce that for this game as well. But because this was during COVID, I wasn't able to get to the actual scene of recording, and the recording style changed as well, because before, everybody was sort of like in a crowded room, and we were all playing the music next to each other. But because of COVID, we needed to maintain social distance. It was like a meter or so or more. And within the studio, how we compose all the musicians and how we place them, it was a different game to play in that sense. And because we weren't really able to travel, we had brilliant staff go there to the scene and to have them communicate with us. And each time the recording session ended, we did a debrief session, we made improvements, and we progressed inch by inch. And for the music arrangement, from the PlayStation version, some of the composers on my team are editing the music. Likewise, we did for the previous one, and I feel like that's the best way to do things, because I create the initial music, and that's where my role ends. And all of the composers in my team, they like doing the editing, the arranging, and they created the sheet music for the orchestration, for the orchestra music, and it was a team effort. But from the beginning to end, we had specific roles to play in this composer team, and therefore we carried over the good aspects from the previous time, but also we tried to make it more modernized in the sound. That's a point that we decided at the very beginning. What do you mean when you say modernize? The time of FF12, we were trying to go for a more classic symphonic sound, but for this game, because we had music that was more rhythmic, therefore it's a little bit more of a Hollywood taste. Not so much. It's not an overkill, but a taste of that. But I think that went pretty well. No, I believe it went really well. It's amazing. And in the actual cutscenes, you have the voiceovers as well as the music that you and your team composed. The development team, at first glance, they saw the cutscene and it was like their eyes opened. Oh, we now see it's really dynamic. There's a lot of presence here. And the dotted images, because it's really hard to imagine how they move, and the music really played a big role in this. It's the same game, but it really changed everything drastically because of the music. And we're so glad that we were able to record this as a full orchestra and have all of the lines fully voiced. So we're really satisfied. Yes, for me as well, being involved in this game for such a long time, but the impression for me has changed. I kind of feel like I'm playing a completely new game altogether. And I'm really looking forward to playing the game myself. I'm sure it'll be really exciting for me to start from the beginning, to listen to all the screams and the lines by Kachua. No, it's not like she's screaming. I see. Okay, got it. And Maino-san, Nakamura-san, including the original Tactics Ogre, do you have any memories of the music, of the sound? For me, the music at the beginning of each chapter has that weight to it, and I really love that kind of music. And it's going to be even more cool. When I first composed the music, I've never composed music that was so serious sounding, so to speak, and I wasn't sure how to create the music, and I was always asking people or figuring out things. But for the chapter music, there were no reference points for me, but to hear your impression and your memories, that's really nice for me to hear. Okay, so what about you, Nakamura-san? When I played this on the old Super Famicom days, the silent sounding music, the soft music was never present. And from the get-go, the music would kind of abruptly come in, and going back to what you mentioned, the dotted characters, it's sort of like them unfolding in the drama and the character development. The music plays a really big role in this to help us imagine that. And for this game, you can use the help feature, and the music, you can look it up on the help screen as well, and it really describes the music. And who wrote that text? It was Sakimoto-san and his team. And Kachua, when you take a look at the text, she's really described in a pretty awful way. I think it says something that she's not a happy person, or she tends to victimize herself. But take a look at it if you're interested. But the music description for the help feature and other descriptions, a lot of times I was composing music like on a Sunday midnight. And these times I was watching like B-grade movies in the background, and it was sort of like taking inspirations from those movies and providing the text explanation. But I think the users and the players, these are the moments where you can come back to the realization that you're playing a game when you take a look at all these reference points. And there's a mode called the Diva mode, and I think the music that's related to that, we were able to receive really good comments in the text description. That's something that we really poured our heart and soul in that as well. Because my team, they're very serious, and yes, the content was really good. Alright, so we're now coming towards the end of the program, but we'll wrap up the topic on music for now, and thank you very much, Sakimoto-san.
はい、ではですね、はい、徐々にちょっと終わりの方もですね近づいてきておりますが、その前にですね告知のコーナーに参ります。はい、ここでも新情報ありますので、ぜひ最後までですねご覧ください。はい、でまずはこちらになります。はい、もしかしたらですね、すでにご予約いただいた方も見てくださっていたら嬉しいのですが、予約ショーターをやっている方、初めて知った方含めてですね、コレクターエディション実は限定パッケージ版の内容をご紹介いたします。ちょっとこれね、今実際に今映ってますが、ものもこちらに
And I do have the wheel product here too, so let's take a look at those.
ご紹介できればと思います。はい、まずはですね、こちらですね。
The first one is his
これがちょっとその限定
script book, and here's their box for the limited version. And Akihiko Yoshida wrote, drew this picture too.
ゲームのそのシナリオですね。こちらを網羅したスクリプトブックになっていて、かなり
covered the older script in the game.
こんなちょっと表紙も
Huge volume, and you can see the front, and you can see the gods appeared in this title. Here. So, if you are a fan of the Matsuno-san's scenario, I really want you to enjoy reading this.
はい、では次ですね。
Thank you. Go to the next please.
こちらですね、公式画集
This is the official art book.
ですね。その先ほどお見せした吉田明彦さんのイラストであったり、
and the illustration of the Yoshida-san, and also the God's pictures or illustrations are written here, and also the Masosa-san's illustrations, and also high diluted or the good quality illustrations were written here. So please enjoy. Oh my goodness. We can't see the content, but that's very good.
はい、では中村さんのところなんですけれども、はい、ちょっとこちら3点セットですね。
You have here 3 items here. First, oh, thank you.
ちょっと今左側にあるですねタロットカードもあるんですけど、
You have the
右側にある
card on your left and the page on your right.
タロットカードを入れるポ
And
ー
then
チ
these
がまずあります。
cards
そして今はい。
are
そうですね。はい。これはもう別にタロットカード
Yeah, actually you are able to put those cards into this pouch.
主人公デニムが所属する
This is from the element, I mean the emblem from the Denim's
先ほど中村さんの方で
team, and
配信いただいたこ
also
ち
you
らで
can
すね。
see
こ
the
ちら
map here.
タロットカードを敷く実際のマット
This
になっ
is
ている
the
ので、
sheet for the cards, and how to use it. It's like you are able to use this item for the mouse pad, or
横70セン
it's
チの
very
縦
big,
が確か
right?
50センチ近く
70 centimeters versus 50 centimeters. So I saw that on the desk of Nakamura-san only, so he only has the very good one. I was curious about that. Yeah, I was thinking about it too.
非常に使い
Yeah,
やすい
look at that. This is a very
先
good
ほどのです
pad.
ねバレリア島と言われるはいゲー
And
ム
then you can see the Valerier and the world of this title
はい
too.
これ
And
も
here's
吉田
the
明子
cards.
さんに
And
タキソロ
Akihiko
メロンの時
Yoshida
に書いていただいたはいタロットカードに
drew these illustrations
22
too,
枚ダイヤ
as
ル
he
カナと言
did
われ
with
てい
the
るです
previous
ねは
title
いタロッ
too.
トカードになります。はい
Good.
ありがとうございます。では次崎本さんです
And
ね。
then
はい崎本さ
Sakimoto-san.
んの方ははい
Yes.
ミニサウンドトラックになります。
Yeah,
はいこちら
soundtrack.
ゲーム中の曲です楽曲ですね。そ
You
こか
can
ら
enjoy
15
the
曲をセレク
music
トして
inside of the game.
入
We
れており
have
ます。
selected
先ほどちょっとねご
15
紹介したビクトリーに入ってた
titles
りと
and
か。
15 music
はい
from the
こんな感じで
game.
はい
Can you see the
素敵なイラスト
inside?
も
Yes,
出
you
てお
can
り
see
ます。
the illustration too.
ちょっとねそう曲の方はねそうですね私の方で選曲させていただきま
I
した。
selected the numbers, I mean
もう
titles.
はい崎本さんにももうお任せと言われて。はい
Because Sakimoto-san was okay to leave it to
大
me,
体毎
so.
回そうちょっとビクトリーは多分私じゃないんですけど、大体曲を決める
Victory
時は
was
曲
not
名をつける
something
時
that
は
I
自分がつけ
decided,
たりとか、
but I
サントラ
actually
の曲順
named
と
the
かも
title of
自
the
分の方で
music, or I
お話を
named
流
the
れるとこうした方が
soundtrack
いいか
too.
なみたい
So
な。
I tries to, select the music for this soundtrack too again.
そうですね。はい、グッズの紹介ありがとうございま
Thank
した。
you very
そ
much
してです
for
ね、
the introduction
この
of
E
the
ストア
goods.
でタク
And
ティクスオーガ
at
リ
the
ボン
E
の
store,
パッケージやパッケージ通常版やこのコレクターズエディションなどをですね、
and
対象
out
商
of the
品のい
people
ずれ
who
かを
purchase
ご
or
購入された方の
pre-order the
中か
standard
ら
packaged
抽選
version
で500名
for
様
the
に
East
スリー
West
ソード種
Collector's
ガラスの
Edition.
かぼちゃタクティクスオーガリボン版をですね
500 winners
プレゼ
will
ント
be
いたします。
selected by
こちらはですね
lottery
ちょっと
to receive
サ
the
ンプルで
glass
ガラスのかぼ
pumpkin.
ちゃですね。 ペーパーウェイトとしても使いますし、こ
Yeah,
れ
you
も
can
と
use
もと
this for
ス
the
ーパーファミコン版
paperweight.
のタクティクスオーガの時の
Originally,
キャ
this
ン
was
ペ
from
ーン
the
で死者の宮殿
campaign
と
at
言われ
the
るエンドポイント
SNES, I mean
戦争
SNES, at the
それを潜り
yeah,
続
at
け
the
て、
dungeon, right?
とある条件を
And
満
there
た
was
すと、
the pillars of the dead, and there was a dungeon, and if you completed the
チャンス
dungeon,
があるという
there was
当
the
時キャンペー
opportunity
ンを
for
や
the
っていま
players
し
to
て、
get the
今回
glass
そのタクティ
pumpkin.
クスオ
That
ー
was
ガ
the
リボ
campaign
ン版
that
という
we
ことで、この
did
ガラスのかぼちゃ
how
の
many
リボン
years
版
ago,
に、
and we
作りま
actually
したという
created
ところに
these goods for the Reborn again.
これね、ゲーム中にちょっと調合するとあるキャラのイメージも、模したアイテムになるんですけど、
This is an item with the image of the particular character in the title. So if I pre-order,
抽選と
I am able to join to the lottery? Yes, automatically. Oh, please, I need to pray. Oh, you actually ordered already? Okay, understood. And Maino-san, please, of course. Of course, I will get the pre-order with the 22,000 yen, right? Collector's package. That's something that I try to reserve. Thank
そ
you.
してですね、続いてですね、
And
こちらのちょっと内容に関しましては、その他詳
As
細は
of
です
the
ね、
content
こちらのスケ
or
ーニックスのです
the
ね、
details
特
of
製
the
サイトの方を
campaigns,
ご覧いただけれ
please
ばと思います。
take a look at the e-store
で
of
続い
Square
ての、
ENIX.
新たな、情報といたしましてです
New
ね、なん
information
とですね、タクティクスオーガリボーンの、LINE スタンプができま
Line
した。
stamp
はい
of the Tactics
でこちら
Ogre
はですね、本日の、
will be
18時頃から、
launched.
ご
Okay,
購
these
入いただけ
stamps
るように
will
なりま
be
す。
available
ご覧いた
from
だいているですね、
6
デザイン含めて
p.m. Japan
全部で
time.
32種類
We
あり
have
ます。
the
はい、他にもどん
32
なキャラがいるかというところなんです
stamps.
けど、これ実際に書かれているセリ
Oh,
フは
really? That's really good. And all those scripts are from the game? Yes. Very aggressive scripts. Where can I use those words? Where can I use those, comments? Maybe at
お
night?
やすみなさいという時にちょっと
Maybe you can say, good
まあ
night,
ちょっと何か
or
気に障ったことがあった
you
らこ
can
う使ってもいい
say
かもしれませんし
maybe those scripts are quite aggressive, like here's like I'm sorry, but I don't feel any feeling of the I'm sorry from this
もうね
stamp.
そう他のちょっと残りのキャラクターもまたちょっとゲーム中のセリフで
And
はい
these are just
印
the
象に残るセリ
portion
フ
of
が
the
ありま
stamps,
すの
so
で
you will see
まあ
more
本日
in
18
the
時頃
full
からの
version.
配
So
信
that
と
will
なり
be
ますのでちょっと
available
こちら
from
内容
6 p.m.
ご確認い
in
ただけ
Japan
れば
time.
と思います。
Please
はい、こちらの
check
方は
those.
ですねタクティクスリボンの公式 Twitter の方でもお知らせしますので
The official
ぜひチェッ
Twitter
クいた
will
だければと
announce
思い
too,
ます。
so please check it out.
で続いてのですね、
And
はい告知はこちらとなり
Here
ま
is
す
the。announcement again to
はい
you.
先ほどご紹介しましたタクティクスオーダーリボーンの公
As
式
I
ツイッターでキャン
introduce
ペーンを実
the
施いたしま
official
す。
Twitter of this
条件
title,
を
we
満
will
たした
have
ツイー
the
トで
tweet
キャンペーンに
campaign.
参加してくだ
If
さった
the
中の中から
tweet
抽選で
fulfills
50名
the
様に
requirement,
こちらもですね
and
ガラスのかぼちゃタクティクスオー
50
ダーリボン
winners
版をプレ
will
ゼ
be
ントい
able
たしま
to
す。
get the glass
で
pumpkin
まあ、
as I
インストア
showed
以外で
here.
ね予約したという方には
So
ガラ
if
スのか
you
ぼちゃを手
get
に
the
入れるチャンスに
pre-order
なります。
outside of
でそして
the
イン
Square
ス
ENIX
トアで
site,
対
here's
象商
the
品を購
opportunity
入さ
for
れ
you
た
to
方には
get
まあ
the
ダブルチャン
glass
スとして
pumpkin. Or if you
まあ
have already
手に入れら
pre-ordered
れるかも
from
しれないという
the
ですね、
Square
はい、も
ENIX,
のになり
you
ます
can
の
get
で、
the double
はい
chance to
キャンペーン
join
詳
the
細はですね
lottery
近
to
日
get
中に
the pumpkin
お
here.
知らせできると思います
So
ので、
I will
タクティ
let
クスオ
you
ーダーリボ
know
ン
the
の公式
details
ツイッター
later,
ですね、
but
フォローしていただき
please
つつ、
follow
お待
the
ちください
official
ませ。
Twitter of
はい、
Tactics
ぜひぜひ
Ogre.
皆様、はい、ご参加いただければと
So
思います。
please join this
はい、
campaign. Thank
告
you very
知は
much.
では以上と
That
なり
is
ます。
pretty much about the announcement for today. That's very
はい
good.
ですね。でもあっという間に本当ね時間が来
Oh,
てしまいまして、もう
we
そろそろ
really
ね
need to
終
wrap
了
up
の
the
時間も
session.
ちょっと近づい
Time
てきました。
passed really
は
fast.
い、でもちょっ
Thank
とね
you.
何年ぶりかのちょっとお客様の前での
Well,
ちょっと放
this
送という
is
ところ
just
で、
the very
ちょっとね
first
私
time
も
for
まあ
me
最初ちょ
to
っとかな
talk
り緊張して
to
若干
people
こう感じが
here.
ちょっとあって、
派でしたしね。
だけどもちょっとかなりね楽しく、はい
But
放送さ
I
せ
was
てい
a
た
little
だ
bit
きま
nervous in
し
the
た。
beginning, but I very
はい
much
では
enjoyed
です
it.
ね、
Yeah,
そうですね、ちょっと
because
最後にです
it
ね、
was just
まあ
my
皆さ
first
んからです
time in
ね、
many
一
years.
つずつ、まあ、感
But
想
I
やちょ
thank
っ
you
と
very
ね
much for
メ
your
ッセージ
cooperation.
を
So I
い
really
ただ
want
け
to
れば
point
と
out
思いま
each
す。
guest to give us
そ
the
れでは、
comment.
最初ですね、
So
崎本
let's
さんの方から
start with
はい
the
お願いいたし
Sakamoto-san in
ま
the
す。
beginning. Yes.
そうですね、一番最初にその開発に携わった時にはもう本当にこ
When
んな
I
に息の
worked
長いゲームになるとは
for the first
先
time,
になるとは
I
全然
actually
思ってい
have
な
not
くてですね。
expected
ただ
to
まああの
have
時
this,
に
long history
なん
with
ていうんで
this
しょう、みんな
game.
がその自分ができるこ こと以上にすごい一
because
生懸命頑張
each
ったんだと思うんです
staff
よね。
worked so
だからやっぱ
hard
そういうのが
to beyond
こう
the
今でも
expectation. feel the very great passion from this title still. And whenever I do have the remake or the Reborn like this, I now have the new assets there, like a new music or live music. So I feel like a totally different product, so that you are able to enjoy this title many times. So that's why I really want to play this title is released. So please enjoy this title with me. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Alright, so moving on to Nakamura-san, please. Thank you so much for having me today. For me, my encounter first with Tactics Ogre was 27 years ago. And I can say that now, the simulation game having quarter views where you're looking down from the top, that is a common thing right now, but back then, it was a completely new thing. It was brand new. And those games, those days, it was called something Emblem, right? Where the animation would switch over in the battle scenes just a bit, and those were the common types of games back in the day. And the geography and the maps, it's much more easy to understand this screen, and the gameplay as well, the recommended way to play the game and referencing all that information. And using all of that data effectively will help you to progress in the game in ways that you never imagined. And I was blown away. I never thought that would be possible in a game. And through these 27 years, there are many games that have developed. Maybe this is not a new thing anymore, but this is a remastered version of the original game, and I really hope that players would enjoy the game and really find out for themselves how this original game was so exciting, and look at the exciting pieces remastered as well. And for me to play Canopus and the characters around him and how he develops relationships with those other characters, that's a great part for me to be able to voice his soul, and I hope you will enjoy. And there were like 90-something people that were involved in the voice acting, right? Yes, and we actually don't know how it all turned out in the final remastered version in the voices, so that's something to look out for as well. Maino-san, please? Yes, thank you so much to the live audience and to the viewers. And for me, I'm really looking forward to the release of the game. I am always depending on Canopus as a character, but I don't know what's going to happen in this version. No, it's the same. Because I heard that the bow is being readjusted for this game, the same for the spear too. But anyways, for Denim, I tend to be a little bit biased or one-sided when I train and grow my characters. I want to have a little bit more variety in playing this game. And going back to the origins of tactical RPGs, this is the game. And for players who usually do not play this kind of game, it's going to be very enjoyable, and this epic, vast world that you're going to see, and the dotted characters, although they are dotted, you're going to be really attracted and immersed in their relationships and their stories, and there are multiple routes that you can take, so a multitude of ways to enjoy, and per route your comrades may be different, the people in your party, and there are many different kinds of encounters that you're going to come across depending on the scenario. Depending on what kind of action Denim takes or the character takes, it's going to change the fate of the characters. So I hope that you will enjoy all these different ways of playing the game. And for those who have played the game after decades, because you're all grown up now, you're an adult probably, and reflecting back on the game, I'm sure there will be new discoveries and really realizing the ideals that the characters have and reflecting back that onto you, understanding them. So for the new players as well, I hope that this show was enjoyable for you and has compelled you to pick up a game and play. So look forward to it, and thank you so much for today. Alright, so finally, from Kato-san. This was a very heated discussion and conversation, and I feel like I have nothing more to contribute. But because of time constraints, we weren't able to say everything. There will be new information that we hope you will look forward to. So stay tuned for more updates. And we've improved the playability of the game for this modern era. And like Nakamura-san was saying, you can play really freely and you can dive deeply into it in terms of battle play, or you can enjoy the storyline and really dive into the different branch outs. So I hope that you will enjoy the game, and it's worth it. Thank you so much.
Thank
you so much again to our guests. Thank you. And thank you so much to the audience for sticking with us until the very end. Tactics Reborn will launch on November 11, 2022. Look out for it, and thank you so much. Goodbye. Thank you.